So, how long have you been Ant-Man again?
Not long. It just sort of happened.
I wish I could fight bad guys like you.
All right, everybody, this is Herbie Walker, Terrence Simmons. We're going to be talking today about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Finally got time to get out to the theater and watch it. You got the family out there. I snuck out, so yeah, I didn't get to go see it with anybody. So this is the second in the Ant-Man franchise. It's number 45 of the Marvel. Of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's just getting to. I'm watching this movie and I'm just thinking to myself like, man, I'm here for another Marvel ride.
Man, phase 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to go.
Are we in 3 or 4?
We're at the end of 2. We haven't even made it to 3. Am I correct?
I'm not sure. I really don't remember. We had 2 Avengers movies.
Correct.
So Age of Ultron, I think, was the end of the second.
Okay, so we're in 3 then.
Yeah, I think we're in 3 because this next Infinity War movie will probably be the end of
4.
The 4.
Okay.
So we finally got a chance to see this movie, and I walked away, with some really interesting perspective. So we're gonna kind of dive head first into this movie. This is gonna be Ant-Man the Wasp, and again, like I said before, it's like the second in the franchise, and it stars Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly. Did I get it right? And it picks up pretty soon after the first Ant-Man movie. So if you haven't seen it, you might miss a little bit of context, but I don't think that it was the first Ant-Man was pivotal to this.
I don't think the first Ant-Man is pivotal to it, but I actually feel that you need to see Civil War to have a strong understanding of it.
Civil War, yeah, because they make a lot of references to what happened at the airport hangar scene where Spider-Man come in.
There we go.
And I'm watching this movie and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what happened in Germany? And I'm thinking Ultron, no, that was Sokovia. I could not remember what was going on in Germany. And it when it finally dawned on me when he said, like, I hit the airplane, I was like, okay, that's the hangar scene. And that whole, just like you said, Terrence, that whole moment in Civil War was pretty pivotal building this movie. And I thought they did a pretty good job roping it in, but you do need to see that to understand why they're in this predicament they're in.
Correct, and it's so funny how that scene was maybe a 15 to 20 minute scene, but for this movie, it the cause and effect factor is huge on a lot of the small plot points that are going on in the movie. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about plot points. He's under house arrest. Mm-hmm. He's trying to fix that out. People are on the Pims are on the run. Mm-hmm. They have their own plot point. And it's all because of this one scene in Civil War. Yeah,
and with that, and with that happening, you see Prim having a bigger role in this than I thought he would have had originally. I almost think he's in this movie a little too much, honestly. The older Prim, every time he came in the scene, it just kind of sucked the air out.
But his character was supposed to be this angry man that. His wife is gone, so he's unhappy. I mean, that was also, he got pushed into hiding. Mm. So he's supposed to have the negative demeanor of that. Yeah. And so he does that a good job. Now, this is not young Michael Douglas. This is old Michael Douglas. So you're not going to get the fun. He's no fun.
Not to jump too far into at the end of the movie, but when you find out about the wife, and for those of you who don't know, Michelle Pfeiffer plays his wife in this story, and it took me a second to connect who that was. I was like, why is she so familiar? And not why she was so familiar, but why was she so comfortable? Like, for me, to watching her on camera, I was like, that's Catwoman.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
and it was a refined Catwoman, and just like Hank Pym with Michael Douglas playing.
But you
role.
said refined.
Yeah, well, she was. She's not super young and eager.
Yeah, I agree.
Her character is very calm, developed, and I think they did a really fantastic job with her. As a matter of fact, I thought they did a really good job casting this movie.
I agree with that. And also, ironically, I really like T.I. I like the Latino comedian.
Was it Walton Goggins? Let me see. No, Michael Pena.
Michael's fantastic. I mean, the guy stays funny. The aspect that I really liked of it, like when he does the talking thing where, let me tell you a story, and and they do that, and I like that in 1. So when they brought that back in 2, I was like, oh yeah, because it's always funny.
Yeah, with Michael Pena, there's a meme. I don't know if you've seen the meme. where they talking about who's really going to defeat Thanos, and it's Michael Pena, and it has Korg from
the Rock guy.
The Rock guy, Korg
Okay.
from what's it called? Thor Ragnarok, and,
Right.
and then there was another character. It was the funny sidekick characters that were going to come and save that. So I'm watching this whole movie. I'm thinking Michael Pena's like, I would watch a whole movie of him and Korg,
Oh, man, he's
going on a
great.
little adventure.
Yeah.
And T.I. did, he came out there. You thought he was going to do his typical T.I. stuff, but showed a little bit of range.
A little versatile. I can be funny and I can be street and funny.
Look, you got to start somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere. I agree with that.
I look at The Rock, right, as a matter of fact, and I think of some of his older movies, not even like Be Cool, but you think of movies like my wife and my daughter loves this one movie that he does, the one where he's a tooth fairy.
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, man, I guess you got to start somewhere, So yeah, I'm giving props to T.I.
Speaking of T.I., I'm also want to give props to him, as in, like, you gotta think about Ludacris, LL Cool J, all the other Ice-T, and how they evolved over time, and so he's growing.
Yeah, and to see him do that and have him this opportunity, they're like, well, look, T.I., we're not gonna put you in a mainstream Avengers movie, but
I agree.
throw you a little Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah, a little
role
something,
there.
something.
Like, let's see how you do.
Right.
But they did. I thought it was there was two breakout roles, and before I get into the main one, Randall Park, the Asian dude from.
The boat.
Fresh Off the Boat.
Fresh Off the Boat.
Yeah,
okay.
the father
Now
from
supposed
Fresh
to
Off
take
the
over the
Boat.
world or
He
whatever.
was hilarious. Just his character, his demeanor. I thought he fit well in the world of Ant-Man and Wasp.
I think he is the Paul Rudd humor, the straight, kind of awkward humor that they have throughout the whole movie, and he's perfect for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole cast and crew blended, I thought, really well.
Oh, yeah.
Far better than I thought it would. And it's really important for a movie like Ant-Man and the Wasp because, let's be honest, Ant-Man is not a household name, and
Okay.
you're going there to see it. You're not going to see what you got out of Black Panther, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even feel that this movie had that level of production value. I felt walking in, this movie was kind of hitting the middle mark, and it was quite content with just being right here with their budget, their plot, and
The CGI and the technology and the shrinking is fantastic. So I don't know what their budget is there, but I do think they understand what type of movie they want to be. Ant-Man and the Wasp is not a Avengers. It's not, like you said, Black Panther. That's not the level they're going for. This is a family. They had a good connection with father, daughter, and family. That's their niche, and they're just going from there. That is the Disney family movie action niche.
it was a very, very family friendly movie. As a matter of fact, Lawrence Fishburne is in this movie, and then he plays one of the scientists in that has a pivotal role in the story, and he takes on mentoring this young character. Now, I'm not familiar with this character named Ghost. I don't know if Ghost is a true canon character or they just made her up for this, but Hannah John Kamen.
Okay.
And I thought that she did a fantastic job as a villain. Like, her starting off, I wasn't really sure what to expect, because she kind of had this look as if she's going to be the stereotypical, bad guy. But they really gave her some depth. Probably more than most movies even would have bothered with.
I looked into the character, and Ghost, the character, is a male, not a female. And so they kind of did a remix on who the character is from canon.
I see.
On the other side, I thought she was just gonna be another pretty girl here doing trying to be a villain, and they did a good job with giving her direction, giving her depth, and giving her time to really show what she could do. So for her, this was probably, if she has other things from this would be her breakout role.
I think it was her feature role. She was on Ready Player One and played
Did you see
Finale Xandor. I seen that movie. I can't remember her character though. But,
Okay.
And apparently she was in Tomb Raider as well. But beyond that, I don't really recognize her from anything else. I thought she did
Game
okay.
of Thrones.
All right. So in Game of Thrones, she played Ornella. Might be a background character. I mean, she's pretty, and she carried the scene pretty well. And when she came on the scene, I was actually worried. Like I said, I thought she was going to lean kind of just not have a lot of depth. But her having a backstory tied right into it and worked really well. And this is what I think Marvel does so much better than DC, where they give the characters some good background.
I agree with that.
And at this, similar to Thanos and even Black Panther with Killmonger, Ghost, you sympathize with her because there's a point where you're watching this and you're like, I don't know if she's the bad guy. You know, I can't hate her agenda at all.
I think she's the perfect anti-hero because you connect with her. You're like, I like the way you're doing it. It's kind of like the Punisher. We do want drugs and crime to stop. And we do want her to be successful on her plot. We don't agree with what she's doing the way she's doing it. But it's because of how she was raised. And you understand that, you make that connection and you go for it.
And that backstory was kind of rough. You know, just seeing that whole the whole transition with, and Lawrence Fishburne kind of eventually took her under her wing. But you know, this brings us to some of the action scenes in the movie. I thought, you know, the movie really held itself. It did have some top budget action films. I was not understanding the physics behind the shrunken cars that they showed in the trailer.
You didn't like that?
No, it was cool to watch, but after a while, I'm like, I'm just really not getting how they're dodging and keeping up with traffic like that. You know, that part, like, I guess, you know, you think of those powered RC racers, it's kind of like that, but that was kind of hard for me to wrap my
80
mind
miles
around.
an hour is 80 miles an hour, whether you're a small car or a big car. So I guess when you go small car, you're still going 80 miles an hour.
Maybe something just didn't seem right to me, but I didn't hang on to it too tough. The overall, the movie did. I wasn't bored watching this movie, and I felt that it kept a really good pace. Now now getting into spoiler territory, I don't know if is anything you want to say about it.
I just want to highlight Paul Rudd. He did a fantastic job. I think that's one character that we didn't kind of like talk about on so many different levels where, and one thing you said that was fantastic is it was no one's movie. I feel like they played as a team. It was an ensemble of good story. Everyone just doing what they did well, and that's what carried it over. There's no like, hey, I have to be Iron Man, so blah, 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 and I got to do all this runtime. Everyone had small parts that made this and build this up. So I think that was, Paul Rudd especially did a fantastic job in that.
Yeah, he definitely did. And before I get into the spoiler talk, I'm definitely going to kind of give this movie, I'm going to give this like a graduate level work. Not graduate, you know, definitely got his diploma, man. This movie finished
College degree.
Yeah, getting his degree, you know, it's a thorough movie. Yeah. The plot is strong, characters are strong.
Action is good.
Action is good. The only thing I'm going to say that hurts this film, and it's not its film's fault for me, is there's a little bit of Marvel exhaustion happening for me. And I'm enjoying what they're showing me, but I'm glad that they're spacing things out. I'm glad that there isn't a Marvel movie coming, as far as I can remember, in the next few months. Because I'm kind of burnt out.
Okay.
So I don't know how you feel about it.
So I'm not burnt out, and I'm not burnt out because of this movie. I feel like Ant-Man and the Wasp is a different movie towards the Avengers, and it's so unique. It's actually a breather. You know, it's not heavy. It's meant to be light. It's meant to be fun. I mean, I think about the audience for this. It's like me and my daughter or my family going to see it. It's the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with action.
Yeah. That's a really good way to put it. Now, getting into the spoiler talk now, what I really want to talk about.
We want to give 3, 2, 1. Spoiler talk.
Spoiler talk, yeah. So if now you don't want to hear this part, the stinger, turn it off now. We're going to talk about the stinger at the end. I really like how they tied this movie to Infinity War.
You did?
I thought it was fantastic. Like, it put this movie from being pretty good to really good. Like,
really?
not awesome.
That was the cherry on top for you?
It was, because just the way when, you know, they built up this, the plot line, they had that portal that they were creating.
Right.
And they finally got it working the right way. And then, they talk about how you can get stuck in there and it's very deep and whatnot. And sure enough, Ant-Man's in the portal, and then Thanos snapped his fingers and everybody on the other side of the portal disappeared and he's stuck. And I'm just like, whoa. Oh, y'all really gonna end like this?
I was upset. I'm like, so how's he gonna get out? He's just stuck there.
Hey, tune in next week. And I'm not mad at Disney and Marvel for doing this, because if they didn't, I think there's more people like me that wouldn't go see it. Like, okay. I like what they're doing. They're making good movies, but I am kind of getting tired. I don't know how other people feel, but there's just so much going on. I'm trying to stay hyped for Captain Marvel. I'm glad that they haven't released a trailer, and I hope Marvel stays quiet for like the next couple months. Like, I really don't want to hear anything about Marvel for a while. But yeah, that did it for me. And because I'm watching this whole movie and I'm thinking, when does this fill in? And they did a good job as far as explaining why he didn't participate in Infinity War.
Yes.
And with him being on house arrest, he couldn't do it. And his house arrest requirements were so strict that they had the FBI on top of him.
What 20 years in jail.
Yeah, for 20 years in jail. What I don't understand is why is he in so much trouble versus all the other people that were in the Germany scene?
Well, I think it's one, he was already an ex-con.
Okay, yeah.
So you already got, it's not like he's like Captain America and I could get out of this. This guy's already an ex-con. Even Captain America afterwards went to Wakanda and kind of hid out. You had this whole kind of like Dark Avengers type group.
So you think he got caught?
Yes. And that's what thing she said, because remember because
everybody else got away.
Yeah, and she's like, man, I'll tell you this, if you would have asked me to come with you, you wouldn't have gotten caught.
Okay. So, hey, that's my opinion of Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Since we're spoiler talking, I gotta say this. Paul Rudd kills it in this one scene where he has to, there's a communication between him and Miss Pym that's stuck in the Phantom Zone. That's something, or
yeah, that was pretty good. That showed some really good acting.
Yeah, and everybody couldn't pull that off.
Mm-hmm. That was very believable.
Yeah,
and he did a great job. You just can't not like Paul Rudd. He's a nice guy.
I agree.
He's like somebody. Oh, Paul's here. You know.
So what do you think about Lawrence Fishburne? I did want him to go Goliath. I feel like that's where I felt
that
like
was cheated. That was a cool.
We were cheated though. I wanted him to be like.
Is that a canon story? Is that part of that?
Goliath is really a black man. He was in black exploitation, and he actually fought Luke Cage one time.
Did he work with Hank Pym?
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay.
So that was a good connection. So cool. Yeah, so I wanted him to go all the way though.
All right. Well, we're down on time. So thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely subscribe and listen to all our other videos, and hope you tune in again. We're gonna do other reviews. We're gonna talk about Uncle Drew. Uncle Drew next. So all right, we're gonna sign off on this one. Thank y'all. Have an awesome time.
Peace.
All right.
Who would have believed that in your hour of need you would turn to us?
Not me.
Because we robbed you. Do you remember? That's us.